So I'll just show you guys what's going on.
Anything, folks?
Who? Don't want to say anything?
Sorry? Anything?
Oh.
Miss? Anything you'd like to say?
There.
Are you on with me, Rachel?
Actually, sorry, I put
Nobody's
you guys on the
walking
ground because the jury was walking by and they were asking if there's anything they'd like to say. But, you know,
Yes,
unless
okay.
they want to say anything,
Oh.
I'm not going to record them. Oh, microphone. Do you have a microphone? Do you think we can put it on?
Yeah.
Or wait, no, maybe not, because then we need to pick it up. We need to pick up. Okay, hey guys. Oh, they're not talking. So let me show you what's going on. They're not talking. So we have this set up, but it looks like family's not going to talk. So I'll show you guys what's going on. Guilty verdict.
Where are they running?
Joe Schmo right there. Hey Joe. Joe Schmo from his YouTube channel. It's Grayson. So these are all of the cameras set up. And this is a hope for a press conference. This is what we do after a guilty verdict. So oftentimes after a verdict, people will set up this sort of mic stand in hopes that when family or like, you know, the Vallows come out, they perhaps say something to the media. And it looks like as far as the communications director of the court just came out, as well as the public information officer, and they said that the family doesn't look like they're going to be saying anything, but we're gonna just sit for a little bit. You guys can be with us as we kind of see what happens after, and I'll tell you guys about what happened in there. But Lori Vallow Daybell has been found guilty of conspiring to kill Charles Vallow. It's a good
I don't want them to
day.
really leave right here. I know they're chasing jurors.
There are some reporters that are chasing jurors that came out. Oh, there is a juror talking? There's a juror talking? Where? Hold on, guys. It's facing me, so I won't show him unless he wants it. So, look, the question is, do I stay here? They said they're not talking. Do I stay here or go over? I'm gonna go over. I'll be back. I'm making a decision, game day decision right now. Yep, something's happening. Okay, we're going. Okay, shoot. Sorry.
And I feel like we uncovered some lies.
Knowing now that she was convicted of killing her 2 children in Idaho.
I haven't had a chance to Google everything. I'm sure as soon as we get on the shuttle. So might have more to say later.
Was that difficult going through this and
Yes,
not being able to
it
be
was.
disconnected?
Yeah. It just felt like there was a lot of information that didn't make sense and that was missing.
Do you think she did herself any favors by
No.
defending herself?
No,
You were not impressed with her
No.
lawyering skills?
no.
What did you think of her behavior during cross-examination? The way that at one moments she was argumentative with some of the witnesses.
I mean, many days she just was like smiling and laughing and didn't seem to take anything very seriously.
Were you hoping to hear a
How much
defense?
of that did that play into a factor in the decision?
It did.
Were you hoping to hear her testify? Were you hoping
Yes,
to hear her
I
call
was.
witnesses?
I was.
And what about you?
I didn't understand why she didn't call any witnesses.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't get
Or
that.
why she didn't have, like, I know she made a statement about the only family that was interviewed was her estranged brother, and why wasn't her parents or her sister, but yet she didn't call them.
But
So-
I mean, in saying that, she is not obligated to prove her innocence.
Exactly, yeah.
To-
And you gave her that benefit of the doubt. She recognized she didn't have to put on defense.
she knew.
Right,
yeah,
right.
She knew.
Was the fact that she didn't put up a defense or take the stand in her own defense part of your deliberation at all?
No.
Did it
It was
affect
all
you?
evidence. It was all evidence that was produced
Yeah.
and presented to us.
Sorry if this was asked, what would you say the biggest piece of evidence for you guys as a jury was when you came to the decision?
Well, for me, like her, it was text.
The text
were damning.
history.
What text history?
What specifically about the text?
Oh, there were so many.
If I can do that or not. Yeah, there was.
I
Well,
mean,
there
we
was
had
2 of them for me
pages.
that really stood out.
Can
Which
you tell
ones?
us which ones?
The
Um,
Nephi.
Then
Yeah, that was one of them. Soon will be Nephi, and so will I. So that was one of them. But, I don't know if I should say anything.
We heard so much about dark spirits and religion and how this all plays into it. I mean, as a jury, what's going through your head when you start hearing that in court?
For me, that didn't really play a big role because you have to have evidence of conspiracy, and that was not
Was it
somebody's.
Was it unusual for you guys to see, when you're talking about her brother Alex, the guy who actually did so many players were referenced in this trial, and you never saw them, never heard
Correct.
from them. That had to be confusing when
It
you
was
guys got
very
back in the jury room. Yeah?
Yeah, it was very confusing.
What did how
It
did you,
just felt like there was so much of the story that was missing.
Did she have any valid arguments, like anything that made you think maybe she's not guilty?
Do you want to answer? I can't think of any.
You know, honestly, up until yesterday, I would have said not guilty. But when the prosecutor, I don't know, what do they call that? When they give their
Closing argument?
argument.
Yes, the closing
Connect
argument.
with the
That's
dots.
really, there's a few things she said in there, and then when I looked them up today, I was like, oh, that's bad.
you were still on the fence yesterday.
I was yesterday.
Give us a sense of what it was like to be in that jury room. Was there any a point that someone was disagreeing, saying that maybe she is not guilty?
Yes.
Were you guys all?
There was,
And what was that like? Walk us through that.
it's just a matter of, adults working things out, going through all the evidence and figuring out, what we were going to come to an agreement.
To learn now that everyone that was in that house that day, minus Daybell, is all not with us. He's dead. I mean, what is that like to hear as jurors walking out?
Sad. Like I kept wanting to hear from Tylee.
I was going to ask, is anybody wondering why Tylee wasn't testifying?
Yes.
You were.
Did you ever ask the judge why aren't they here? Or
No. And the one witness that really got to me was hearing Kay. I was holding back my emotions.
Okay, Woodcock. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Y'all spell your names for us?
Yes.
My name's Carl.
Victoria Lewis, Lewis.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you for your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your perspective.
Like I need to stand up.
Thank you. You a juror? Could I jump in on this?
Can I give you a new one?
Are you doing an interview with them right now, or
Oh, sorry for attracting everyone.
what is?
People at once.
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk us through what it was like in that room?
In your decision today?
One of the biggest factors was probably when we were sitting there, whenever they would ask a question about the Mormon stuff and all that, she would just kind of look at us and smile and smirk. So it kind of gave it away for a lot of it, just kind of didn't really care.
What were those conversations like in the jury room? I mean, going back and forth when everyone was deliberating. Can you kind of put us inside that room with you?
Let's see, it was kind of, so a lot of us already knew. A couple of us just needed the extra, we need to re-look back through the evidence, the text messages and all that. So it was a little bit of back and forth, but all of us were pretty sure we already knew what we wanted.
Was there one piece of evidence that really convinced you she was guilty?
Probably when she said that he was Ned before they got rid of him.
Yeah.
that was probably the part where we were like, okay, now it's real.
Did you ever wonder why Tylee wasn't testifying as a witness?
Yes. We didn't really have much to say about it though, because we didn't really know anything, why she didn't, stuff like that.
And do you understand now that every other witness that was there that day is now dead?
Yes.
When did you learn that?
At the end, when we first were walking out, everyone was talking about it, and we got told to look up her previous stuff so that we were aware.
And in that jury room, this woman's been convicted of 3 homicides. You guys didn't know that.
We did not.
None of you guys knew that.
Correct, yeah.
No.
Yep.
And then hearing all the missing pieces in the trial, people who didn't testify, there were a lot of holes when you went into the jury room.
Yeah.
We're not explaining.
Yes.
Must have made it more difficult.
It did, which is why we went back through everything, just to make sure we didn't miss anything, to make sure that we were 100% on what we were choosing to do.
Was there anything that made you think she might not be guilty?
No.
When you went back to the deliberation room, were there any jurors that were uncertain and some that were certain? Where did you start? What was the foundation for deliberations?
I think probably 10 out of 12 of us were certain. The other 2, we helped them go back to what they needed to learn to kind of make up their mind. And then, yeah, we just kind of went from there.
Did you guys look at any additional evidence once you were back there? Because I know that not all of the evidence was presented in court, and they said there was additional. Lori asked you to watch the entire interview, for example,
Yes.
and Trina K invited you to do the same. Did you guys do any of that?
That was actually one of the first things we did, because what we saw was only clip-its, and going back through it, it was actually kind of the whole interview that was like that. She asked us to watch the whole thing, but the whole thing was pretty much those clip-its, other than her laughing, smiling about, she was kind of just at peace. Like, she was just sitting there, her legs were crossed, she was sitting all the way up on the seat with no shoes on, just her legs were crossed like she was in her own home.
Lori made a big deal out of being called nonchalant or calm throughout the entire trial and didn't think it was really fair. Was that something that affected you guys, her calmness or nonchalantness?
Yes. Being that calm when everything happened, it's not something that you would normally be calm about. You'd expect to be sad, asking how your brother's doing, since he was the one that got injured during it too. She didn't do any of that. She already knew it happened, and she just went with it like that.
Did you want her to testify?
I guess, I don't know. Yes, seeing Charles's sister's reaction when they did say she pled guilty was really relieving. It made all of us feel really good that they got justice.
Can we get your first and last name?
Natasha Smith.
Natasha Smith, thank
Also
you.
known as Tosh Reed Tucker, though.
Tosh Reed Tucker.
Yes.
Can you spell that?
TASS, and then my last name is Reed Tucker, REED-Tucker.
Thank
Do you
you.
plan to go watch a bunch of stuff about this case now, or are you over
Yes.
it? Yeah.
I believe we're told that there's a Netflix documentary, and you can basically just Google it, everything will pop up. So that's probably what I'm gonna do when I get
You're
home.
gonna die.
Yeah.
And you really didn't know anything about this case coming on as a juror?
No, and I told my grandma that I got requested for jury, and she asked if I know anything about it. I told her the name, and her jaw dropped. Like, I was supposed to know who she was. Like, she thought it was insane that I didn't know what was happening, but I just moved here 2 years ago as of March, so I didn't really know anything to begin with, but my grandma did, and she thought I was just crazy for not knowing.
Where'd you live previously?
Minnesota.
And so your grandmother was able to keep a tight lip on things?
She did, yes, she did.
Fun discussion with
Yeah, and I actually see her tonight too, because my mom just flew in from Minnesota, so I'm gonna
watch
go see them after this, and we're probably gonna watch everything.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Natasha, or Tosh.
Natasha, here's my card. I'm from Idaho.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, not, yeah, but yeah. I'm just gonna keep. What? Oh, she's gonna talk.
I think she's gonna have my info.
Good.
Well, I can help you get a hold of her.
Okay.
So we'll.
I'll wait for you guys to get done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine, girl. Thank you.
Grayson, will you get her? I'm going live. Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
And I had to, I'm a single mom.
I'm gonna go back over. Well, actually, let's talk. Can you help us explain the? Can I turn it on you? Is that okay? Hold on, guys. Well, is our stuff over there, by the way?
Yeah.
Should we go back over there? You think it's okay?
There's nothing there.
Okay, so I'm with my producer Grayson. We were sitting there in court today. We were expecting testimony. You know what? Let's go away from. Let's go this. Do you know what? Pause. Let's go past.
Like even the prosecutor went through.
Actually, you know what? Pause. Let's listen to this.
And just read the whole story. And there was so much that popped out. And there's so much. I'm like, obviously, chats of lives, we know.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah.
Did I tell you?
Right.
I know now. I mean, bits.
Yes.
That's what I want to know. Where are his charges?
Girl.
Return missionary.
I
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
that's not part of
Yeah.
So okay, so being raised Mormon, when you heard her argue the Nephi story, what was your thought?
lies.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't, I'm like.
We know what Nephi and
Everybody
Laban.
knows what Nephi's known for, whether
Right.
or not, there's more to it. That's the primary thing that he's known for in the Book of Mormon.
Yeah. So being raised Mormon, I am curious. Were there any other LDS people on the jury today, or today this month?
I was the only one.
You're the only one.
So I had lots, they had lots
Did
of
you have
questions.
insight for
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Interesting. And what did you think about? You were just one of two women on the
Yeah, and
jury.
I thought that was really weird too. I was surprised
baffled.
that there was all men.
I was too. I had never seen this.
This is weird.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You had to represent a lot in there. Yeah. Anything, and just full disclosure, I'm Lauren with Hidden True Crime, and I've been covering this for 5.5 years. At what point did
That
you?
was another thing. Why are we? Is it normal for an investigation to take that many years?
Well, they have a
Like-
lot of cases.
But I didn't. Well, yeah, but I didn't.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
But that's why
And
they
got
had to do
back
the first cases.
together in 2022 to really dig into stuff. So from 2019 to 2022, it was like they picked things up where they left off. And I'm like, why such the delay?
Yeah, I also wonder if it was because of COVID.
I was going to ask that question, but I didn't know if it was a stupid question or if they would even answer me.
No, I thought that too.
Yeah.
What did you think about some of the odd? Yeah, loud bus. What did you think about some of the odd redirects? There were. You don't know, of course, what we're thinking sitting in there, but we thought the enchilada jab with her brother were.
I didn't understand at all. I was like, why is any of this relevant?
You're right.
Seriously, why? It
Right.
didn't make sense.
Yeah. Right.
And there were certain things that she said also that I was like, are you supporting yourself or are you supporting the plaintiff? Like, the state. It just didn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like, she was questioning who shot the gun. You don't know if I shot the gun, Tylee shot the gun, Alex, and I was like, well, so what are you saying? Should we be, looking into that? Like,
I agree. Forget the bus. There it goes. At what point did they tell you about the children and the fact that there is no witness still alive? And you really didn't know? Were there people in your life that knew what you were doing and just stayed tight-lipped?
Yes.
Okay.
My parents were watching it streaming.
Okay. Wow. So they did a good job. You just said, don't talk to me.
Did you know that she was offered a lawyer and chose to represent herself?
Well, I assumed that.
Sorry about the bus, guys.
Because some public have thought she felt sorry for her, thinking she couldn't afford a lawyer. So I wondered if the jury.
Even if you can't afford one, you can
Right.
still be assigned.
So it wasn't made clear, but just on your
Right.
videos, I'll let you guys assume that.
I kind of caught on that maybe she likes the camera.
Yeah.
What did you think every time that they were like,
Could we scoot down just a little bit? That bus is not going. Oh, it's her bus. It's your bus. It's your bus. You
It's her bus.
Yeah, it's your bus. Okay. Yeah, we'll get you in touch. Okay. Okay. Let's go over here near our stuff and
She did, the juror over there said they did know about Jamie and Tylee as of today.
right. That's what she just said. Exactly. Do you have my? I'm gonna take my sunglasses. Hey guys,
Rescue
we're
them.
here. We're here. Well, that was some fascinating hearing from 3 jurors. That doesn't happen. Some fascinating information going on. So we are going back to where this possible press conference, we'll see, it is happening, although it does sound like the family is not going to speak, but people are hanging out here. I'll flip you guys around and see, and then we'll have Grayson explain from her perspective what happened in there. So here again is where, this is the other side. Oh, look, here's Kay. Hold on. Okay. I don't know if they'll be coming to talk, but we'll be here if they choose to. Okay. Okay. So there is Kay.
She was extradited here for her sentences for her crimes here, and then she will return back to.
There's Kay, and that's Jerry. That's Jerry Vallow, right there, and Susan Vallow. So all 3 of Charles's siblings. Hey, Kay. I got you. I got you. Okay.
Right up there to the mics, please.
Took Kay's purse for her.
Give us a second.
I'm sure that everyone has heard by now that Rory Daybell.
One second. One second.
In the first degree conspiracy to commit murder against my brother Charles.
Sorry.
And it was a relief, a long journey, and I'm just glad it's over with. I really am. My whole family is, my sisters, and I just want to thank everybody, the Arizona Prosecutor's Office, Trina Kay, and everyone else who was here and got us through it all. Our court advocates and the whole 9 yards. Today's a good day. We won.
Were you worried, Jerry, that the jury might come back with a not guilty at all, or were you pretty confident?
I had a little concern, but when it came back so quick, I pretty much knew that it was done. So,
What did you think of her demeanor during trial?
I thought she was, kind of a smarty pants, you know, not real, I don't know what word I'm looking for. I know which one I would use.
You're trying to be nice.
I know which one I would use, but, so.
What'd you think of her lawyering skills?
I thought she sucked.
Do you think she did herself any favors by being her own attorney?
Probably not. I'm sure the first day into the trial, she wished she would have had an attorney.
You think?
A real attorney, right.
Did you look at her when the verdict was read?
I could see the back of her head.
And what was there? Did you have any reaction? Did she have any reaction?
I couldn't see, but she didn't shake her head or that I saw. So.
Kay, what did you think looking at her?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Come on, Kay, your turn.
I just saw the back of her head too. I couldn't see anything. She didn't. A lot of times during court, she'd shake her head no when she didn't agree with something being said, or she would just shake her head no, and she didn't shake her head no. So I guess that means she really did do it.
Could you come closer to the? Can you guys closer to the mics a little bit?
Yeah, she seemed to really have a visceral reaction to you.
That's what I heard.
And when you were on the stand, what was that moment like for you?
I didn't know that she was that shaken by me being there. And then when I got off the stand, I really didn't even know what I said. And then once Jerry and my sister Susan and our friend Laura Ferris and who else was right there? And Colby was right there. And they were like, "You did so good. She was shaking like a leaf when you," and I was like, "What? No way!" And it was, the more I thought about it, I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's all I needed to know." That made my day. That of all the people she should be shaking for, and she was shaking about me. Good. Yeah.
What did you think of the verdict?
When the verdict was read as guilty. What did you feel?
Oh, just 6 years of walking the pits of hell every day, and about halfway through, I realized, okay, I'm gonna make it through. But it was a long time.
Elation.
It was a long time before I got to that point. But it's still difficult, but it's okay. I'm ready to move on. It's time. We've got a 10-year-old granddaughter we're raising now, and I've got my hands full, and I'm real happy to be being her grandma.
After 6 years, does it feel real after 6 long years of walking through hell, as you mentioned?
Yes, it feels real, because for about 3 years I didn't feel anything. I was totally just didn't feel anything. Numb. Yeah.
Does this feel like justice for Charles?
Yes, and the order in which it happened, you know, this was the first incident, the first murder, and then everything up in Idaho, and then so Charles would have wanted, you know, take care of Tammy and the kids first, and get to me when they're ready. And so he would have been. He's fine, and I know that he's pleased with us, and I know he's pleased with us, and I feel good.
Okay, one of the.
Tell us that your testimony stuck with them.
Exactly.
And they even saw you after and felt like there was justice for your brother. What does that mean to you?
Great. Whatever I said, I struck a chord, and that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was trying to do, and I'm grateful. I mean, hey, the Lord gave us. Well, this was thrust upon us, and our lives just went into like a tornado for a long time, and then getting to say things in the first 2 trials, and then getting to speak about Charles finally, because he's been so silent. And I mean, it's just been silent where he's at. I know people thought we forgot about him, and no way, you know. And but law enforcement never stopped. Like Lori said, they didn't stop, because I was right there behind with law enforcement here in Arizona, talking and saying, "What's going on now? Tell me." You know, I was in contact with them nonstop, so I knew at some point, you know, it was going to happen, and then all the other stuff, and you know, I'm just glad we got to. I'm just glad this is done. Now we just have to get justice for Brandon, and I will be back. I'll can't stay the whole time for his, but I will stay as long as I can. Kind of more towards the end of it, I guess. And then it will truly be over. I say I've still got a little bit left in my book, but when that's over, then I can close my book.
And Kay, I don't know if you noticed, I saw 2 jurors look at you as they were walking out. Did you notice that at all?
No, I didn't. I watched them walk in because I know that if they look at you when they're walking in, that's a good sign. And nobody looked at me, but I didn't see it, so I didn't watch them walk out. I didn't think to look. So
What'd you think when Lori raved aggravation? What'd you think?
I really couldn't hear her because you know that baby talk she does, that baby voice.
Yep.
She needs to lose that. I hope she grows up in prison and learns how to talk like a woman, you know, and not a baby. But anyway,
One of the jurors, the woman with the long hair, she said that she really just wanted to leave her alone. She's like, you know, afterwards I really just wanted to keep her alone.
you know, in Idaho.